Hi, my name is Courtney Donahue, and today we're making pamphlet stitch books. To make your pamphlet stitch books, the materials you'll need are a lightweight paper, another paper of your choosing. This can be a heavier cardstock if you would like. This is to make the cover. You'll also need a ruler and a pencil, a larger size sewing needle, embroidery floss, and just some scrap cardboard, and then a scissors as well. So to start off, you need to cut your paper down to size, and I've already done this, but I'm just using standard 8.5 by 11 printer paper, and I like this because I can take 5 sheets of this and just chop it in half. So I get 10 of these little half sheets here, and this is what we're going to use to make the pages of our book. You can also make this book in any size you would like. Just a thing to note that these sheets of paper that we have here will be folding in half to become our final book. So if you're cutting your paper to a different size, just make sure you cut the width to twice the width of what you want your final book to be. So once you have your sheets cut down, you're going to want to fold them in half. So just line up all your corners. And you can use any type of paper you would like for the pages here. Just stick with something a little lighter weight. If you use something too thick, like a cardstock, your book won't want to lay flat when it's shut, and you won't be able to get as many pages in one book. So once you've got your pages folded, the next thing we need to do is make marks down the spine of where we're going to punch holes so that we know where our stitches will go. So I'm going to open up one of my sheets here and grab my ruler and line it up down the center line of our book of what will become the spine. And I'm going to make 3 marks. So I'm going to start and measure directly in the middle. And then I'm going to make 1 mark 2 inches up from that, and 1 mark 2 inches below that center point that I marked. And you can change the spacing on this how you would like. We just need an odd number of points, and one of those points to be directly in the center. So then we're going to grab our scrap of cardboard here. And I'm using this just so I have something to punch into, so I'm not punching into a hard surface like a table. And I'm going to take my sewing needle here. Now, if you decide you want to make a lot of these books, I would recommend getting a bookbinding awl. It's essentially just a sturdy metal sharp tip with a handle, but if you just want to make a few, a sewing needle works absolutely fine. So go down along the marks that you made on the spine and punch through. Now this first page that you do is then going to become the template for the rest of your pages. So I'm going to take my pages that I've already folded, line them up so that the spines are nested together, and then go through and do the exact same thing, punching down the middle. You could do a few pages at a time too, if you like. And once you have all of your pages punched, then you'll also want to punch your cover. So I've already got my cover cut out here. An important thing to note as well is when you cut your cover, if you can see, make sure you cut it so that it has about 1/8 of an inch border on all sides outside of your pages. You want to make it just a little bit bigger so that when your book is closed, that cover can cover up any rough or slightly uneven edges of your pages. And just like we punched our points down the spines of our pages, you'll also want to do the same to your cover. So just line up the spine of your template to the spine of your cover when it's folded in half, and do the same punches. So next, these sheets of paper that we folded and punched, we're then going to nest together. And like I said, because I cut 10 of these rectangular half sheets of paper, all folded together, we're going to get a 20-page book. So line all of these up. Sometimes you need to guide your needle through to make sure they're all aligned. And line it up with your cover as well. Next, we're going to get our thread. I'm using embroidery floss here, and I'm measuring about 3 times the length of the book, just so that we have some extra to work with. You can use normal sewing thread too if you like. I just prefer to use embroidery floss just because it's a little bit sturdier. So we're going to take our threaded needle, and starting on the inside of the book, we're going to go in through that center hole that we punched. And leave an inch to a 2-inch tail on the inside. I like to just hold that down with my thumb. Then we're going to come through that top hole that we punched from the outside. Sometimes if your pages shift, you have to realign them from the inside with your needle. So going in from the outside, okay, now we're going to skip over that center hole, and we're going to go in the third bottom hole from the inside. And to finish it off, we're coming back in through the center hole from the outside of the book. Make sure everything is pulled taut, not so tight that it's straining the pages, but taut enough that they aren't sliding around. Then, taking that tail that we left when we started our stitches, we're going to tie it off in the center and cut it off. Tuck those in. If you don't like having that tied edge on the inside of your book, you can certainly have it on the outside. The way to do that is to simply start on the outside of the book instead of the inside like we did. So there is your pamphlet stitch book. A nice little hand-sized 20-page book. Customize the page paper and the cover however you would like, and enjoy.